Good is get you. It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be doing our first top 10s of the entire year. So if you're new to the channel, basically what is this? I rank the top 10 players at their respective positions. Important to note, this is basically before all of the content to come this week. So I know there's going to be content tomorrow. And then obviously Steph Curry is probably going to crack this top, obviously, probably top 3 on Friday as well. But this is my current list. Top 10 point guards in my team. I feel like the point guard position, it's not very cheap, right? There's not that many great budget options, which does kind of make it tough. But there are a lot of solid point guards in my team at that. Now, my number 10 is going to come as a surprise. And I don't care. If you're watching this video, it's for a reason. Matthew Dellavedova, my 10th best point guard in my team. Now, I need you guys to buckle up your seatbelts. He's 6'3". He has a wide player amount, a wide player build. His badges are immaculate. I mean, look at these defensive badges. To me, he is an off-brand Jason Kidd. Now, am I saying he's as good as Jason Kidd? No. But when I compare the cards, look at their defense. Oh, yeah. Oh, but Jason Kidd plus 258. Well, look where they're at. Rebounding, playmaking. I mean, post moves. Those don't even matter. Matthew Dellavedova even has a better 3-ball. Now, I'm not going to sit here and gas his 3-ball because I don't love the release of Matthew Dellavedova, so I'm not going to sit there and gas it. But what I will gas is his defense. I absolutely love the defense he plays. He competes. He gets you stops. His release is slow. It is baited. But if you get it down, it is easy to green. I love Matthew Dellavedova. Can't be your primary ball handler, but can absolutely hold it down at the point guard position. And if you got, let's say, if you're balling on a budget, you got Desmond Bane at the 2, you can run Matthew Dellavedova at that point guard position, and he is going to fit in absolutely perfectly alongside a playmaking shooting guard. At my number 9, we're going to plug in a guy who I'm not a big fan of, Amethyst Derrick Rose. Now, I actually have Derrick Rose, right? Because I locked in for T-Mac, and I thought D-Rose would be pretty decent. I couldn't have been more wrong, man. And I'm not going to just sit here and pile up on D-Rose because he's not that bad objectively. But is he great? Is he a card I really do love? No. I mean, I honestly don't like him at all. I feel like his release is baited. I feel like defensively he's a liability. What does he really do on the court? I get the Hall of Fame quick first step is supposed to do something. It might be a different badge in this game. Obviously, these badges aren't perfect. I'm just not seeing it with Derrick Rose. I know he's fast. I just don't like his release. I just don't think he gives you that much on the basketball court. Again, my opinion, if you love Derrick Rose, do what you got to do. I don't like his release. I think there are other point guards that either shoot the ball better or play better defense. Derrick Rose, for me, is not it. At my number 8, a card I personally have never used, just going to be upfront and honest with you, that is Steve Francis. Okay, now why do I like Steve Francis? Well, he's pretty similar to Derrick Rose. Not a great 3-ball, not great defensively. So you guys might be like, okay, but Ty, why do you like him more then, right? Because Derrick Rose is probably supposed to be better as the amethyst. Well, I like Francis more because he's going to move a little better. I think the card is better in general. Now, is he worth the price? No. I'd never sit up here in front of you guys and say I'd pay for Steve Francis because I absolutely wouldn't. There are rubies that are way more worth it than Steve Francis. But is the card objectively decent? Yeah. I like Steve Francis. And again, if you want a point guard that's going to move pretty well, Steve Francis will be able to do that for you guys. So just again, somebody that I am not necessarily running, but I do respect his game. That is Steve Francis. Coming in at number 8. At number 7, we're plugging in the domination reward of Mr. De'Aaron Fox. I actually got 33 stars in domination. Now, I'm not going to sit here and gas it and say I'm going to get domination done for Steve Francis because that would be a lie. I'm probably not going to get domination done, at least soon. I mean, it's something to grind. You get a little MT, so again, maybe eventually I'll get it done, but it's not something like high on my radar. Why do I like De'Aaron Fox? I just think he's going to be a better version of a guy like Derrick Rose. Now, when we compare the cards side by side, Derrick Rose is probably going to look a little better, which he does. But what is lost in the shuffle is De'Aaron Fox based on quick. That release is really quick. Now, Are you going to green with it? I mean, again, probably is going to take you a little while to get the hang of it, get it down. But that release cannot go unnoticed. And just as an overall card, I think De'Aaron Fox is going to be better. Now, again, I've not used De'Aaron Fox or really played against the card too much. So this is just me guessing. But I have him slated in here at number 7. At number 6, a card who runs the No Money Spent squad series. That is Ruby Chris Paul. Now, what makes Chris Paul so good? Okay. It's really his defense. That's what makes Chris Paul next level good. Offensively, he's fine. I'm not going to sit here and hate on him because he's not horrible. But offensively, he's just objectively fine. I can't be any higher, can't be any lower on him. He'll make some shots, especially in the mid-range. He has a good layup package, but defensively really is where he's going to be known. Okay, 83 3-ball. Again, with the easy to green release, that's fine. But he's got an 88 lateral quickness, decent speed, and defensively, he's got decent badges. I'm not going to say they're great badges, but they're decent badges. Plus, playmaker-wise, you get him play badge. That helps the rest of the team out greatly. Chris Paul, when he came out, I thought was going to be an absolute garbage, man. I really did. I said in front of you guys, this card's going to stink. I actually really like Chris Paul this year, especially if you are balling on a budget. At number 5, we're plugging in Ruby John Starks. A card you guys might be like, what? Who is he? Where do I get him? He's from the promo set. You could have chosen him out of the Ruby option pack for whatever the MyTEAM, like, wasn't a locker code, but whatever they gave out for everybody for free. Not going to handle the ball too well. Not going to be a great primary ball handler, but his release is great. And he plays great defense. Those two things are going to absolutely carry John Starks. In my opinion, when I look at this tier list, or when I look at this top 5, you could have John Starks, in my opinion, at number 2. And I would not argue. If your number 2 point guard is John Starks, I'm not going to argue with it at all because he could be there. 6'5", good frame, plays great defense. I like John Starks in my team. Part of the reason he's not higher for me is because I don't have him. I kind of wish I would have chose him instead. Honestly, it was either him or Jack Sigma. I love both of them at their respective positions. Honestly, as time goes on, I kind of wish I would have chosen, John Starks though, because he is that elite at the point guard position in my team. At number 4, a guy I'm not the biggest fan of, but I respect, is Damian Lillard. Now, why am I not the biggest fan of him? Well, I personally like defense more than offense, and Dame defensively leaves a lot to be desired. Now, why do I like Damian Lillard? He's got 37 base badges. Offensively is impossible to guard. And when I say that, I mean that. Offensively, he is probably I'm going to say second best point guard in the game because I can't put him over my number 1. I just can't. I mean, I kind of want to put him at number 1 as far as offensive point guards in the game, but I still just can't do it. But he's absolutely elite offensively. Problem is, defensively, he's absolutely horrible. So just kind of pick your poison, whether you like offense, whether you like defense. That's going to come down to where Damian Lillard is at for you and your specific squad. For me, he's a top 4 point guard in my team, coming in at number 4. At number 3, plugging in Amethyst Joe Dumars. Very similar to John Starks. Not the same, but he is very similar to John Starks. 6'3", 6'6" wingspan, great badge-wise, and look at the defense. That's what impresses me when I use Joe Dumars, is that defense. Release, it's not bad. I mean, honestly, I'd even go as far as to saying his defense is better than a guy. I mean, it's better than a lot of guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, 88 lateral quickness, great perimeter. I mean, Hall of Fame challenger. He does a lot of things for you. And again, his release is really solid as well. He's just a guy you can put out there. Not necessarily the best primary ball handler, but it's very similar to John Starks and very similar to my number 2 as well. Just guys you can put out there and don't have to worry about a whole lot of things. Coming into my number 2, a guy I like just a little bit more than Joe Dumars, is Jason Kidd. Now, why do I like Jason Kidd more than Joe Dumars? I just think he competes better defensively. I don't know if it's because he's 6'4". I just think his player model is better than Joe Dumars in general. And John Starks might be in the same boat, right? I've not used John Starks, but John Starks could, be in the same boat as Jason Kidd. And the most underrated part about Jason Kidd is his release. I'm not trying to sit up here and say he's got the best release in my team because I don't think that's probably true. But do I think it's an underrated release? Yes. The Jason Kidd base on quick is actually really solid and really easy to green. Has a decent 3-ball, but again, defensively, that is where he is going to be at his best. He does cost a lot of MTs, so again, I wouldn't necessarily buy him unless you absolutely have to or you locked in for Shaq. But if you got Jason Kidd, in my opinion, you got the second best point guard in my team right now. Coming in at my number one, my best point guard on my team is Diamond Kyrie Irving. Now again, I know a lot of people are hyped about the Steph Curry coming. I think it's going to be hard to outdo this Kyrie Irving. I really do. He's 6'2", but he plays larger than that. And again, I don't know if it's his player build. I don't know what it is. But when I look at Steph Curry, I feel like Steph Curry always feels really small, really short on the court. And I feel like Kyrie Irving, this year at least, is the opposite of that. He plays way larger than that 6'2" frame. And again, great three ball, great speed. His defensive stats don't look great, but it's solid. 93 speed, 86 lateral quickness, has some defensive badges. And again, with the badge glitch, you can give him clamps if you want. Again, not that I'd recommend that, but just saying, it's in the game right now. Kyrie Irving base, movement is good. I love Kyrie Irving in my team. If there is my favorite card in my team, it's Kyrie Irving. I mean, people ask me all the time. I go back and forth. But when I use Kyrie Irving, especially in a competitive type setting, he absolutely does it for me. He's my best player each and every time out on the court. Can crab people from the mid-range area. He's super consistent for me. My not only best point guard in my team, but my favorite point guard as well. And all you got to do is grind level 40, which you guys can think, oh, that's really hard to do. But you could come over from Park and have level 40 done, and you have the best point guard in my team. I think that's absolutely incredible that 2K gave us something like that to at least draw more people to the My Team mode in general. That's going to wrap it up for my top 10 point guards in my team. You guys can let me know who I'm too high on, too low on down below in the comments, and ultimately who I did leave off the list that you guys would have had on there. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you aren't doing it. As always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.